What's up guys, Woody here, back with, well, a brand new content video for Mythgard. Now, I've been wanting to do content for this game for a little while, but I kind of held off because I was waiting for the game to get into open beta. And now it's here. Okay, so this is my first ever deck video for Mythgard. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who just found me, for those of you who have maybe been playing Mythgard for the last year, this deck probably isn't for you. You probably know of this deck already, but anyway. Yeah, I've come from the Gwent community. I've been loving the game Mythgard, and now I'm jumping into the game Mythgard and jumping into the content side of things. For those who do know me from the Gwent community, I'm going to be bringing a lot of my my Gwent videos over. For example, of that being I run I publish a new to Gwent series, which is effectively a series, clues in the title, where I aim to create 10, 15 minute videos that give tips to new players, tips that very easily passed by, but can help new players really get into the game, really kind of break down some more advanced mechanics of a game, and that's why I aim to bring with Mythgard. And also I want to bring some deck videos, because I mean everyone loves deck videos. Now this is one of my favourite decks I've played in the game so far, and it's a mono orange Zealot deck. Now Zealots are a tribe. The tribes are in every deck you can imagine, or whatever you want to call it. So if you come from Gwent, then Witches, for example, is a tribe. Now, the examples of tribes in Mythgard is you have Valkyries, you have Vampires, and then my favourite are Zealots. And Zealots are this kind of Arab style, yeah, like the very much kind of an Arab style faction, I suppose, is the best way to describe them. Okay, they have really cool artwork, and they are all orange cards. There is actually one card that is an orange card, but we're not going to get into that one. And the way I'm going to do these deck videos, guys, is I'm going to have two decks for you. I'm going to have a cheap version and then an optimized version. Now, we could kick off with the cheap version. I'll go through it, and then I'll go through recommended cards you could put into it. Then we'll go through the optimized version, and then what we'll do is we will jump in and we'll jump into a game. I will say now, the game is not cherry-picked. We play the game, not live because it's recorded, but we play the game as it happens. Meaning if we win or we lose, it doesn't matter. The reason I just choose that is because I can talk through a play. If it's a terrible game and we got thumped because we played against a deck that counters us, I won't use that video. So, yeah, I will use a video that, even if I don't win, a video that still shows the deck off and shows what I was trying to do with the deck. But anyway, enough of me rambling. I'm very good at rambling. So let's just jump into it. So, we're using Journey of Souls. I'll explain more on why that is later. And we're using Impel. Again, I'll explain more on why that is later. This could be switched out for saying us if you wanted. Now, Conviction. Okay. I won't go through what all the cards do, but I'll just go through the list. Conviction. So we've got 4 Convictions. I just got a premium version. 4 Eager Recruits. 2 Storied... oh my god. There we go. Martyr. We got Exerian Observer. We have Dark Passenger. So 3 Exerian Observers. 2 Dark Passengers. You can only have 2 of those because they're rare cards. 4 Passer Crusaders. 2 Twin Fire Zealots. 2 Exerian Recruiter. 3 Passer Clarion. 3 Passer Regulars. There's lots of Passers going on here. You get the idea of it. 2 Serendipity Ifrit. 3 Exerian Synthesizers. 2 Perry at the Gates, 2 Seal of Exiles, and 2 Temptations. Now, this is the cheap deck. Okay? If I click up here, you can see this deck. I say it's cheap. It's not the cheapest you can see, but this deck currently costs 6,600 dust essence, they call it in the game. Okay, so it's not the cheapest. You can get decks for about 5,000, but this works. I've played this without any mythics in the deck. This has no mythics in it. I've played it, it works well, it wins games, especially in bronze, okay? Now, the main aim of this deck is to win by turn 5, turn 6. It's a very aggressive deck, very quick. Now, your key cards for game 1, you can see a mana curve here. We have nothing above 4 mana. So your key elements here are you want turn 1, you want to recruit. Now, when you play this card, it adds a 1/1 card, pass recruit, into your hand. Now, getting these recruits out are effectively tokens. You're kind of spamming the board with all these tokens. So then when you play something like a Passer Clarion, okay, if you create a Zealot, including this one, give all Zealot minions 1/1. So turn 3, you want to be playing either Clarion or you want to be playing Synthesizer. Because Synthesizer is another 3-drop card, and it gets 1/1 until the end of the turn when you create another Rebel. Gets Frenzy until the end of the turn when you create another Zealot. If you know what Frenzy is, it means you're going to attack twice in one turn. So these are your turn 3 plays. You drop this down, And then now you drop your Clarion down, and all of a sudden, every time you play a Zealot, this card, Exerion Synthesizer, is getting the Frenzy Strike, in certain terms it can attack twice, and it's buffing by 1 each turn. You can see it here, it's a 3/3, and all of a sudden now it turns into a 4/4, a 5/5, a 6/6. I've had this card up to a 7/7 with Frenzy. It's done 14 damage on its own, okay? Remember that means I've played 4 Zealots, and all of a sudden my other Zealots are all buffing as well, including the Clarion itself. The Clarion does buff, okay? Your spot removal are these two here. This has, like, your units come down very small with 1/1s, 2/1s. You have a couple of 3/2s, or you have a 4/2 here for a turn 2 play, which is pretty aggressive. It does have a side thing that you must attack with the card, otherwise it gets destroyed. But your spot removals, in terms of target removal, is Seal of Exile. This does sacrifice a mana gem, so I would not necessarily recommend playing it turn 4 unless you have to, because you will go down to 3 gems in your bar, and you'll sacrifice an action mana. So you have 3 mana are going into turn 5, which can be a big hindrance, but it does remove anything. It sacrifices, so anything that has a demise ability when it dies doesn't go off because it's banished. Okay, but Temptation is another one. It's not spot removal. What it allows you to do, any card that costs 5 mana or less, you can steal it onto your side, swing with it, and then it goes back to the hand. But it normally goes back for a 0 because, well, you can see its mana cost is reduced by 4, meaning it will go back at a 0. Or 1 mana if it's a 5-cost card. The best way this is used is to steal one of their cards to target another one of their minions, meaning that you trade and they sacrifice both, so they don't get the card back in their hand. But that's a kind of a strategy play. But yeah, the idea is basically you're getting Zealots on the board. That's the basic idea of the deck, okay? Now, this, as I said, is 6,600 essence. There are some upgrades you can do. Cards you could add in. So this card wasn't in the initial list it was sent me, okay? Now, divination means you took a look at the top 3 cards of your deck and you can choose which one you're going to draw next. The reason I put Serendipity Ifrit in is, 1, it's a cheap card, and 2, you really want to be finding your Passer Clarions and you really want to be finding your Synthesizers by maximum turn 4. If you find these turn 5, you almost auto-lost because the deck gets very slow, and where it's tokeny, and they start dropping, if you're playing blue or greens, they can start dropping units that are on turn 5, turn 6, that are big boys, that have overrun, and your little mini chump blocks are just getting all the damage passed through them, like they're mitigating nothing, and you're just taking damage to the face over and over again. So you want to be finding these early doors, and that's exactly what I3 is in the deck to do. Mindful, you do take 1 damage when you have this on the board, so be careful of that, okay? The rare cards in here are just to draw cards. Parry at the gates, you play the card, and you get to draw 2 cards. You get to divination too, so you get to look at the top 2 cards from your deck and choose which one you want to draw. And the exact same for Recruiter, you play the card and you get to draw it, as long as it isn't a special card. If it's a spell or a special card, you don't get to draw it. Now, changes I would make, nice and simple. You could take out several cards. You could take out Serendipity I3 if you wanted. I personally would recommend keeping it in there. It doesn't link in with the Rebel synergy. It doesn't link in with the Zealot synergy, but it is divination, which is a huge mechanic in this game. Personally, I would take out the Twin Fire Zealots. They sound great. Frenzy, 2/2s. I drop them for 2. They can attack twice. They're only 2s. They can be subject to removes quite easily. I personally would take out both Twin Fire Zealots. And the cards you're going to be adding, if you have them, now these are mythic cards, and this is where they get a bit more expensive, is Spear of Destiny. So, all your minions are now Zealots. Bang. Mind blowing. Just think about that. Clarion, every time you play a Zealot, buff other Zealots by 1 attack. Wait a minute, everything I play is a Zealot? All Zealots, as in all your cards, or all your minions, now focus 1, meaning they do 1 additional damage when they're attacking the direct opposite lane. Auto-include, okay? This is the mythic I would craft first over the other one. This is straight in there, it links in. The issue with it is, it's a mythic, you can only run 1 of them, so as you'll soon learn with this game, you're not guaranteed to draw it. If you have this in your hand, open in hand, you want to be dropping this ideally turn 2, so then when you're playing Clarion, or you're playing something else, it really starts stacking. It has durability of 14, they can't normally get a lot of damage off that early in the game, so it should stay around until turn 5, turn 6, which is when you're aiming to win by anyway. The other mythic card that I recommend you craft and stick in the deck is Scion of Pride. This has Overrun, it is a 4/4. It is an angel, so it doesn't have the synergy with the Zealots or Rebels unless you have Spear of Destiny on the board. However, when you awaken, you place a Pride of place spell in your hand. This is a pride of place spell. And this is remove all of minions' abilities and transform it into a 4/4. So let's say they've got a big boy opposite you. You drop this down, you turn it into a pride of place. It's now a 4/4. You might be thinking, wait a minute, a 4/4 is still pretty solid. Yes, it's a 4/4 spirit line. Look at this over here. This is immune to damage from spirits. This is effectively spot removal in terms of it removes a card's abilities, but then it means that it can't take damage from it. This can remove the pride of place next turn unless they manage to teleport it or move it away in one turn. So you really put in the pressure on them with that. It's a nice defensive card that can turn aggressive. Little tip though on this, the pride of place doesn't have to be used on an enemy minion. So if you're dropping this down, just get this out, and you've got swing, you have a card that isn't under summoning sickness. Let's say you have a recruit, or let's say you have a passer recruit, a 1/1. You can transform this into a 4/4 spirit line and then swing directly with it. The transformation doesn't take up a turn. Transform it straight away, swing with it, bang, in you go. Okay, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. So, or say a game plan we can have. So now we look at this card. It's all of a sudden it's gone to 11,300 essence. Those two cards add a lot of synergy. Not only synergy, they add a lot more competitive play to the deck, and but they are more expensive. And this is the version we're going to be running in the game now. This isn't a tier 1 deck. Don't be watching this thinking, oh my god, I'm going to smash this. I will say I went 17 games and 3 losses in bronze rank with this deck. It was very good. If it works well, you win by turn 5. If it doesn't work well, it's almost auto lose. Okay, it struggles very heavily against blue-red. And it also struggles very heavily against anything splashed with yellow, because yellow's control. We only have these little 1-drop units coming out, these little tokens. We have nothing to get through because a lot of yellow stuff has armor or is defender, and we can't hit the face. And yeah, so that's basically it, guys. That's the breakdown of the deck. I like to do it as in-depth as possible, but not kind of blabber on for ages. I'll probably babble on for ages. But let's jump into some gameplay. So stick around and let's go see how the deck runs in a game for us. Okay, guys, we are in a game. We're in a game. Cool. And we have a great draw here. We have Synthesizer and Clarion in hand, and a recruit opening turn as well. Seal of Exile isn't a card we can play straight away. And we've got Spear. Jesus, this never happens. This never happens. We're probably going to lose the game now. Greetings, my friend. They're saying hello to us. We say hello back to them. So we dropped the recruit just right off center, and we pass turn there. So this is a very, very good hand. We're gonna be throwing out Spear next turn. So we're gonna be burning this. This here 1/1 demise. Give all your minions +1/+1 on overrun. It's an okay card. It's more in there for synergy as the rebel card to link with this. It's not the best card in the deck, so we're going to burn it. It can work very well if you know you can swing into something with it. We get Spear of Destiny out. It now means when we swing here, we do 3 damage. You see it's 2 there, it's 3 because we have focus 1. If we swung to one to the side, it wouldn't have worked. So they're playing purple. I wonder what their secondary colour is. They might be playing, well, saying if they've got enchantments, I would assume it would be purple-blue. I may be wrong. Okay. So we're going to trade up here probably. Well, no, probably about it. But we're going to trade up here. We want to get this one out straight away now. So we're going to burn Temptation, because we're not going to be playing that anytime soon. Not with Clarion and Synthesizer in hand. Now we're going to play Synthesizer here. And we're going to trade with this. Yes, we are. We're going to trade with this. We don't want them building up units. We have to be careful of them getting enchantments out. We haven't burnt it. Did we burn? Yeah, we did burn a card. We have to. So the fact they're running Rainbow means they are running enchantments. Enchantments are stuff that they put on a lane, and it doesn't affect. Apologies if anyone's like, yeah, I know this. Like, I'm just watching for the Zealot video. I'm very much aiming these videos at new players. Okay. While we got a second Clarion. Jeez Louise. I don't know if we need this one for now, so we're going to burn this. We're going to put the Clarion out over here. We're going to play wide, and then we're going to drop the 1-drop just here, meaning this will now get boosted to 5. Now, hopefully, we'll see what they're playing here. This might trade. Yeah, it trades. It's not the best play. It's annoying. It trades. But we do have these out now, okay? Meaning that when we play this, these will buff again. And we play this, these will buff again. We are burning through our hand rapidly quick, which doesn't always happen in this deck. Ideally, what you want are the recruits. Now, the recruits are the cards that are one-drop cards, and they give you a pass recruit. Basically meaning that you can get them out, and you can just spam ones on the board, but every one you play buffs everything else by one. So they get very good, very busy, like they can be great, like really good. So this is, yeah, they're playing, okay, so they're playing mono purple, which is, I mean, so they must be running enchantments, or there's no reason for them to be playing rainbow as a pathway. We do draw this back next card that dies, which is pretty cool, because we have 2 souls here already. So I'm going to throw Biting Blade on this. Now. Okay. We're going to burn this to play this over here. And this gets buffed. To swing with this, they get the life tap on it. It's annoying, but it does mean we do get... Ah, no, we get this back. I wanted this back. Okay, that was a bit of a misplay by me. I can be honest and admit that. But we do have a Clarion on the board. There was nothing else we could have really done. We could have played Seal of Exile to remove it, but then we couldn't have got another Clarion out. Here we go. And I'll probably put Bitey Blade on it again. Mono purple is okay. So this deck at the moment is very slow. Turn 5 is when I'm normally winning games by. Like, as in, and it all comes down to having recruits. Having recruits to put recruits out to get it flying. Yeah, so, and recruits keep your hand nice and big. That's where this deck, so we're going to draw a recruit next turn anyway. But it's where we're going to start getting some damage out on the board. Now, wow, they drew into all their Swordy Saints, which means I might actually play this next, Seal of Exile, because we're going to play this. Now, see, Seal of Exile is great because it actually removes their board and the one from the deck. And it also means we still have enough mana to play this and play this. You can start seeing where the buffs come from now, which is going to make them all do 4s. And swing through here to do the 5 damage and swing through here to do 4 damage. And we can start seeing now how the deck can get very aggressive very quickly. However, the issue now is we're top decking. The recruits, having only drawn 1 recruit and having the other one come back is so bad. Like, it completely slows the deck down. So, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what we draw next in terms of what we can play. We only draw 1 card, unless we draw something like a Parry at the Gates, and we can play Parry at the Gates to draw another card, to draw 2 more cards. That would be an ideal play for us. If we can pull Parry at the Gates, draw 2 more cards, one of those cards we pull as a recruit, and we can drop our recruit down and our pass recruit down. These guys will buff to a 3-1, 4, a 3, and a 4, and then that will be big for us. Scorn of Pride, that's fine. Now, here's a question I don't actually know the answer to. I don't know if we can convert something that isn't... We can. So there you go. We turned this. So they lost all their items on it. We don't swing with these then. You swing here. You swing here. And we move this. Yeah. So you have 2 cards. They're going to draw another card next turn. Now, this doesn't take damage from this. So this can remove this. They're probably going to remove this turn. They should do. But they've wasted all their items. There we go. That's the most sensible play for them to do. They have 7 mana, so they can drop this with Intimidation Cloak. Meaning, I'm assuming they play the Intimidation Cloak now. There you go. So we lose this turn. We don't lose this. Serendipity Ifrit is rather annoying because it's not a Zealot or a Rebel. Although we can choose to draw this next turn, which is pretty solid. This... Okay, so we're going to play this here, and it has overrun, so we get the damage through. Oh, we have lethal. There you go. And then because this has thingy, we can swing through there. It has focus 1. There you go. So that's the deck, guys. We've done alright there, actually. It was slower than expected, but you can hopefully from that game you can start seeing that it is, yes, it's very dependent on card draws. It's very dependent on card draws. It is very dependent on you making sure you have the right opening hand. You can see our opening hand then was crazy. We had Clarions, we had Synthesizers, we had the Spear of Destiny. So we were very, very lucky. Spear of Destiny won us the game effectively because it allowed us to give us the focus, which meant we've done an extra 4 damage just having that card in there. So you can see why that being a Mythic is so important in this deck. Now, I really recommend crafting it, especially if you're a new player to the game. What this deck taught me how to play was lane placement. This deck very much taught me how to, where do I want to place my minions? How do I manage these small minions to get them big? And I think Zealots are a really cool faction to sprinkle in with stuff. I have Zealots that I've mixed in with green for like magic, like spell decks. I've mixed Zealots in with some blue to try and get a little bit more control going. That doesn't work as well. Zealots and purple, so like orange-purple works very well because orange has some nice cards that kind of add to that kind of aggressive nature of the deck. But that's it, guys. That is the deck. Now, the big issue we have here is I don't actually have anywhere to share the deck with you guys directly in text. So what we're going to do is in the description below in YouTube, there is a link to the Club Drop Arcana Discord. It's my own Discord. If you go join that, in the Mythgard section, I will copy and paste both the cheap version, and I'll call it Cheap Zealots, and Optimized Zealots, and you can copy and paste it from there, copy it off, and then import it into your game if you want to give it a go. I really recommend giving it a go. I find them super fun to play. I mean, we were playing in casual then, but we were queuing into people. Decklist isn't someone brand new to the game. They played a while. They're playing mono purple with some big cards, and it just shows when the deck works, it can work very well. I definitely recommend giving it a go. And let me know what you think of the deck. If you give it a go, let me know what you think, guys. But yeah, that's it. My first deck video for Mythgard. Hope you guys are enjoying the game. Let me know in the comments below if you are enjoying the game. And let me know if there's any other decks you'd like me to try and build, play around with. Like I said, Zealots are my kind of favourite tribal thing at the moment. So I really want to see what I can make with Zealots. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for stopping by the video. Have a great day, morning, evening, whatever it is, wherever the hell you guys are. And until next time, goodbye.